Good morning. Police at about, I don't know what time, I woke up around 2, but they were like playing with their sirens right outside my window. One night after they followed, like I went up to the doctor for my high blood pressure pill, and I walked up there, and it was like January, and I walked an hour and 20 minutes, and the doctor just happened not to be there. There was just a little nurse's aide, and I just had to go up there to get it fulfilled because of um cuts in Medicare. They want you to have more office visits for the same. Anyway, whatever makes a lot of good sense to them. But anyway, so anyway, the little nurse, I sneezed because they had like their heat on and whatever dust was blowing around. So I sneezed and my eyes were already watering and my nose was watering for being out in the 30-degree weather and walking, you know. So she's like, "Oh, you have sinus problem. You have sinus problem. You want me to give you a prescription for?" Well, she's a little LPN, nurses, assistants, right? So she could tell me to go to the pharmaceutical and get a sinus pill. And I'm like, no, I need something, like, because I just walked an hour and a half and I got some body aches. She goes, well, what are you going to do about your sinus? And like, I'm like, I'm fine, And she goes, well, what are you going to do? So I finally said, well, I'm going to go home, drink some water, and have a fine meal and, sit down. The end. But anyway, so I go to Walgreens and it's taking forever, right? Okay, I don't even end up getting my prescription for high blood pressure pills that day. Well, I get one prescription. I didn't get both of them, right? I didn't get the one that I was actually out of. But anyway, here comes the undercover cops. They come running in there. Where's the sinus medicine? And the pharmaceutical, there's a long line. She comes running behind there and going over to the other thing. I'm not buying any damn sinus medicine because everybody I knew it's like normal in New York when it's 30 degrees outside and you walk somewhere. Yeah, that happens. You know, so but I guess people get sinus medicine for normal stuff. I don't. I blow my nose, wash my eyes or whatever. Oh, but anyway, so they were outside the window, and like I fell asleep. It was probably about 8:30. So I was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 hours, which is longer than I had been sleeping because almost all last year, and I only slept 3 hours. But I was taking, I ended up, going to sleep in the daytime. So I guess the thing is that the only thing I could guess is from like and when you read the medical articles that in the 80s that first came out about the cocaine use and paranoid schizophrenic, because they were like that is a form of bipolar also, but there's many different bipolars because bipolar means two of something. So like it's like if you have like apple pie with ice cream, that would be a type of bipolar. But say you didn't have apple pie with ice cream. Say you had apple pie with whipped cream. That, you know what I'm saying? If you would substitute those for different orders. Well, cocaine has a way of making people paranoid, schizophrenic. It also Freud, when he was doing his studies, you actually got in trouble for his heroin patients ODing, but he could sort of, you know what I'm saying, and that's where he got a lot of his. A lot of people don't know it was a drug and drugs, But anyway, a lot of his. But you have to read you have to read his papers. Um, it's long. It's a long paper. But anyway, but cocaine, like it really they it was sort of used to stop pain, like a lot of stuff. And well, anyway, what happens is that it'll stimulate a part of the brain that'll give you gratification, but after a while, it cuts off the blood flow. So so like Orson Welles, like you said, is it don't do it because you won't be able to have an orgasm. So a lot of these guys, they don't know pre-com orgasms, all the same to them. But anyway, so he's outside the window. So finally, I went to the bathroom, but I hadn't turned the light on. I thought, well, let me turn the light on. Because if they think you're peeking out the window, then they're like, happy, yeah, she's all paranoid, schizophrenic. But I always go out the fucking front door. Because, you know what I'm saying? I want to see who the fuck is on the side of the fucking of the thing. If they hear the door, they just make the corner, you know. So, and if I do come up, somebody fucking with my shit, I don't give a fuck what you do for a living. If you're a human, you know what I'm saying? So, and since they scared and they're afraid of every motherfucking thing, because they always like, oh well, we shot him because we were in fear of his life, even though he didn't have a weapon. He was black and he had a hoodie. The police. It's sort of sad because they got the secondhand information. The police around here are very coked up. When I was teaching up in Holly Springs, the police actually was handing out $5 to the people in the alley over there. Um, um, anyway, a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Because the police depend on like the parents around here say, not saying, well, what happened, but they'll just tell, what did you do, instead of saying, come here, and just talking to them because you don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, this place is pure shit. It's real. It'd be real quiet. Let me tell you something. They was around over here fucking the police over here making some noise one night. Like they like to make noise, so like I guess I'm supposed to be jealous or something. You know. And I just as soon as I figure out like what is like what people do to emulate that jealousy, because like I personally. You know what I'm saying? If you fucking, there's an invitation I'm not invited to, so you really should keep the other people out. But anyway, but like they do shit, they have to be seen, right? So anyway, this guy up here, got brutally murdered, got guttered, and they don't know who did it. They're waiting on somebody to come and tell them. Oh. And there was this other girl, very pretty. I think one of her people, is a famous singer, the Holly Boo Boo. I mean, when they first went, like they're going through the woods and everything, and the horses and their big ass SUVs. I was like, what the hell? This is like, I mean, like this is the 21st century. If they took it through, and there was a road supposed to be on the other side of the woods, they drove somewhere. All you have to do is like they used to do in the old days, like my dad used to do. Figure out who what type of people you got around there. That'll tell you how far like they'll walk. Cause they ain't gonna walk no fucking farther than into a goddamn car and get in and drive it. And then they don't drive very far. I know people that I'm not driving all the way up there, like it only like I walk farther than some of the places that they won't drive because it's just too far. But for whatever reason. But anyway, so it's funny because in my mind I was like doing like the type of people that are around there, and you got to take in their like everything, because it's sort of a social thing, it shows different, like they think they don't have any class because it's all very not a class structure here. It's a poor structure. Look. Anyway, but it has to do with the image of like a grandiose. So I knew that. So they're not going more than 3 to 5 miles. Anyway, and that's about. I don't really. I didn't really pay attention to exactly where they found her at because I thought probably what happened was it probably was two guys definitely, but probably who knows. But one probably could pick up. I don't know what type of fighter is she, but anyway, one probably could pick up depending on his size and her weight of one woman to throw over the shoulder. If they not. But anyway, but two made sense, and one of them finally bragging makes another sense. But anyway, so and it'll probably be another 3 or 4 years. Somebody, if and but they play what they call, they say, oh, playing games. They're playing games, but I mean, there's a lot of people over here that you could just forget it. You know what I'm saying? But to sit around, and then the train comes through anyway. So, but I'm drinking coffee. I got up. I get hungry. I have to go pee anyway. But I mean, they do this fucking shit all the time. It's not like I got a fucking job and I got a special time to get up. So that shit probably really does piss, like people off, and they person probably go out there and they could get a battery charge or some shit. A good giggle. Meanwhile, the job they hired for to do, they're not. Oh, and like it's like since the '80s, whatever, and since like the type of mentality that our police and especially the women. Oh well, they must have wanted that. Like they didn't do like none of the rape kits. And I hope that you know what I'm saying, because common sense would have told them, as it comes to you, do it. You put it to side, especially here. You know, I mean, the guys don't have to be responsible for their actions, because even if the mom, most of the time the mom got. Okay, this is how they handle like the baby, like that propaganda, like, oh, she can't raise no man. Well, if you can birth him, you better be damn sure God made it so you can raise it. But if you buy into that shit, you can't raise no man. Let me tell you, this girl over here, she like they'll move in and out of the house there, and I'll pay 1 month's rent until they get evicted. And that's another thing. I got this trespasser back here. The police done told him, well, we don't have to move you out. They could move a motherfucker trespasser out. They could, cause he wasn't. But another motherfucker name was on the list, on the lease. His uncle who was up in the hospital. They could have did their fucking job, but instead they trying to cause me difficulties for whatever little fucking narcissistic ass non-comprehensible racist, because there's one but anyway, there's one investigator, but he gonna tell me something about, oh, African Americans do this and African Americans do that. He got a little young boss, so I guess he supposed to be fucking with me. I think I'm white. I'm like, first of all, whatever the fuck I think I am, I didn't buy into that African bullshit. Okay, whatever the white man want to fuck your head over to keep you ignorant, and playing this fucking self-destruction self game. My brother said I'm a Negro. I don't have a problem being a Negro. I used to think it was funny because some of the most like racist white people, I sort of knew him. You sort of get used to him because you see him every fucking day. And this one guy, he's like, he goes, I can't stand you. We were sitting there, and I think we was like eating together, right? And but anyway, he had other issues, but I knew him since like kindergarten, like in New York, and so there's one girl, they just trained him in from Harlem. We're in junior high school, and she was like, oh, you think you're white? And so anyway, we were sitting there, and he goes, yeah, there's a difference between a nigger and a niggero, and she goes like, yeah, and then she leaves, and he goes, I could call her a nigger all day long, and she's like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? Because in his mind, he just wanted you to be, you know what I'm saying? And so like when they first came, because I wasn't watching TV, I wasn't really like socializing, and I prefer not to socialize with these fuckers. But anyway, so the police here, they can't do their job. They don't do the rape kits because the woman is the victim. The one, she had wanted it. Even like the young boys, if they get raped, well, he was gay. Now a guy rapes him and then calls you a faggot, And then, you know what I'm saying? So it's the victim's fault that this shit happens. So, you know what I'm saying? So like they could go around like that way the police could bully you. And if anyway, I'm just so disgusted. You know, all our fucking money goes on these morons. But you know, and these are black policemen. So and let me tell you something. The when I think it was we had a white sheriff or whatever his job was, police of the police or whatever, chief of police, whatever. His son got brutally murdered by some white motherfucker murdering people. All of them. Anyway, so two guys, and like I guess he retired, he left. It wasn't what he was thinking about. But see, that's the thing is, he thinks, oh well, you know, he's got to explain to me who the fuck I am. I know who the fuck I am. I promise you. Just because, just because you're a racist ass motherfucker, and you think that white murdering ass motherfucker that came over, you know, just let me tell you something. Um, they, it's sad. It's sad. These motherfuckers, they programmed to kill themselves. They're programmed to self-destruct, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, and furthermore, even if you can read my motherfucking mind, you know, but what I'm thinking you're doing is that either there's a lot of other motherfuckers around here and you just picking up on somebody else's mind, or you're projecting ass motherfucker and you ashamed and you hate your motherfucking self, and the black man is bought into that. Oh, I'm African, a fucking American. Trust me, I promise you that the white people came across the Atlantic on boats because that's where Europe is, that's where London is, that's where Paris is, and that's where Spain is. And at that time, they didn't have like airplanes to fly across the Atlantic. So maybe America got invaded by a murdering, syphilis ass uh, uh, see, there's a difference between a species. Okay, I'm from the human species. The white the white people are from a species that mutated from their use of uh, uh, from syphilis and their behavior and their lifestyle that they chose. And if you listen to Darwin, we're always revolving. And there is well, okay. Anyway, there are some people that are very interested in what you might be revolving to. It looks like you're revolving into, you know, like if you're like diabetes and 80 pounds overweight and you never did any exercise, sounds like bacon, baby. You know.